Okay, hey! Hello, welcome to the Trauma-Informed SLP. I'm Kim Neely.
Hey, we're promoting safety and empowerment over here! My apologies to all New Yorkers and fans of Midnight Cowboy.
How's it going? I'm recording in a slightly different location. I might end up moving my studio down to a different area of my home, so I just kind of makeshifted this here a little bit. But there has been a Jubilee, I guess, right? Those the guys that does the discussion videos and all this other stuff. They put out one about basically, can 3 autistic people, do they have radar or autistic DAR, I guess, for other autistics? And it's been recommended by a lot of the autistic people I follow on my personal YouTube. And I decided, hey, I should figure out how to do a reaction video and do that. Why not? Hey. So I'm standing up right now, so hopefully I won't whack this and won't move around too much. I might. And also, if you are a neurodivergent like me and you're watching this on video, I have a little zit patch on my nose right here. I put a little bit of shiny makeup on it just to kind of own it, that it's on my nose. But if you see something on my nose, yes, there is something on my nose. It is a little patch covering up a little zit right there in the center of my nose. So that's good times. Anyway, fidget of the day is this little keychain because I'm not where my plushie is and I didn't feel like going upstairs to get it. So here it is. Here I am. We're doing it. Also, another quick line item. I don't think I've recorded with this camera yet. I got a slightly upgraded camera. I mean, it's better than my cell phone, my current cell phone, because I've got scratches and stuff on the cell phone. So hopefully it's a little better. And, I don't know. Hopefully the AI tracking is off so I don't suddenly drift if I move. But let me know. Hopefully it's still coming out okay. If you see me on the camera, I guess let me know in the comments below. My apologies to Scots. I really want to have a Scottish accent. I wish I had a Scottish accent. Okay, so let's get to the reaction here because that's what you clicked on this for. Let's do it. And I'm coming at this from a slightly different perspective. I am a late diagnosed neurodivergent myself. I am also a trained speech language pathologist. And I have over a decade or so of clinical experience across pretty much all populations, from preschoolers. I didn't do a whole lot of toddler work. So I guess preschoolers to end of life care in skilled nursing and hospitals and stuff like that. So I worked kind of across the gamut in my field. I have a lot of familiarity with autistics. I have a formal diagnosis of ADHD, but also I strongly suspect I'm AuDHD. AuDHD, I had to practice that because I kept saying but AuDHD myself, because I do have a lot of overlaps with autistics. Although it is not formally diagnosed, and I have had a past history of 3 different concussions, so 3 mild traumatic brain injuries, which can contribute to that overlap too. So, I mean, I'm slightly hesitant to say it, but at the same time, I relate really heavily to autistics in a lot of ways, and I definitely relate to ADHDers as well, but I don't feel like I fit in either category on its own. I don't feel like autistic and ADHD are not encompassing categories to me, but AuDHD feels like a much stronger fit. Also on the asexual spectrum, also agender, just realized that about myself a few years ago, and also bisexual in the sense of my attraction to it more pan, I guess, more pan-romantic, I guess, technically. My attraction is more dependent on the person's personality, which is a demisexual thing, and it really doesn't matter who the person is or what their gender presentation is. I'll crush on them any hoots, but it's also very rare for me to have attraction, a physical attraction. It's much, and it's actually kind of rare for me to have attraction in general to people. So, but I say this as a caveat because I'm 45, and as an older person with all of this training, I'm not looking at this as can I tell if they're autistic? I'm not going to try to predict or anything. I'm more looking at it through the lens of as someone who's still doing some work unpacking my own internalized ableism, and as somebody who's entered more neurodivergent spaces now with other adults who are late diagnosed, I kind of want to look more at the social interactions and talk more about what I perceive to be cultural differences with neurodivergence. When neurodivergents are in a room and we're all talking with each other, the way it actually goes. Because there's some really great research. The main article I can think of is Crompton et al. 2021, I believe, where they did a study on different neurotypes. And if you match the neurotypes up and you leave them to just communicate and socialize with each other, they get along great. It's when you mix like neurotypicals and neurodivergents and you mix like neurotypes and stuff, that's where a lot of the confusion comes in. And also work on the double empathy problem with Devin Price. They've done a lot of work too on just misunderstandings between and missed perceptions, essentially, between autistics and neurodivergent or neurotypicals. Sorry, neurotypicals. But I just want to see like what kind of perspective will I bring to this as someone who's trained in speech language pathology. I was trained in some of those old school ways that definitely taught more masking type stuff. I never liked doing those things. They always sat weird to me, but I didn't realize I myself was neurodivergent. And I started gravitating away from those sort of things fairly early on in my career as a clinician, but I also felt kind of crazy for doing that. And now there's this much bigger movement into neurodivergent affirming work. And I also have my own kind of way of conceptualizing neurodivergent affirming work, which includes a lot of emphasis on social adversity. I have this thing where I talk about non-apparent neurodivergence and apparent neurodivergence, and it's because I'm thinking of the social adversity and the type of stigmas faced, and it more has to do with the presentation of the disability, thinking of the social model of disability, but also thinking of medical model in the sense of access to medical supports to help with quality of life and gaining independence and things like that. And more apparent neurodivergence, they're often not given the option to mask. They have a lot more stigma, a lot more assumptions of their cognitive abilities. And honestly, we don't have a good way of testing their cognitive abilities. And it usually includes non-speakers and things like that. And people like that, sorry. Things like that, people like that, I don't know. I just lost my train of thought right there. Sorry. Just trailed right off. Just went poof. But yeah. And non-apparents being people like me, where like you just see us standing around in the grocery store. If I'm masking or something, you might not notice immediately that I am different and a little weird pants. So that's non-apparent. And they're not concrete categories. People can be in one for a time and then become another later on. But I'm probably going to bring up those terms as I react to this, because this is definitely more of a non-apparent neurodivergent thing where they're looking at autistics who have been given the option to mask. And so I think what would be an interesting question in my reaction to this in my mind is, first off, what are tells to me that someone is neurodivergent? When I've gone into neurodivergent safe spaces with adults who are neurodivergent as well, what drops? Like, what of our conversation styles drop? When we drop the mask, what does it actually look like? What kind of questions do we ask each other? I think it might be interesting. Let's give it a try. Let's see how this goes. Woo! Okay, here we go. Okay.
I'm Austin. I am a local artist within LA. I am also a dear local androgyne, and I was early diagnosed at the age of 2.
The age of 2 being diagnosed with the level of misdiagnoses for people of color especially, but intersectionally speaking, there's a good book that I'll put below as a reference to that. I'm going to guess he was a pretty apparent autistic when he was little, because being diagnosed at the age of 2 as an African-American man, like, that is, yeah, he was probably apparent, and he still looks a little apparent to me, but I don't know if other people would interpret it that way. I wonder if non-professionals or neurotypicals, they might interpret him more as just like fidgety and maybe like awkward or like anxious. They might not assume autistic. But personally, he looks a lot like the way I look if I completely unmask around people. I feel like I look a little more like him. So I love it, Austin. You keep on doing you. I love it. Okay, anyway.
My name is Paige. I just turned 24 last month. I've been diagnosed with autism I just hit my 9-year anniversary.
Oh, okay. So she was diagnosed, if it was 9 years ago and she's 24, so she was diagnosed in high school, I guess. technically, like as a 15-year-old-ish or so, which makes sense that at that age, my guess is social demands and like her, especially, I'm assuming she's cis female. So I'm assuming she's a cis woman, but she probably struggled a lot with like passive aggressive type stuff, especially if she had other girlfriends, because I definitely had that. Oh my God. I struggled to make friends with girls for a very long time in my life. And even now, the best girlfriends I have are ones who are super compassionate and super patient people. If they're neurotypical, they're super compassionate and super patient and super understanding and curious. They're like naturally curious about me and my differences. And not people who tend to do a lot of judging and passive aggression because, oh my God, it's too much. And I'm wondering if that led to it. Also, comprehension demands and like organization of thought for like writing essays and following like history lectures and stuff, that kind of ramps up, especially if you're like a freshman in high school in the United States. So like around that 14 to 15-year-old level, there's these sort of increased demands essentially and increased expectations for things. And so I think that my guess is that she likely sought a diagnosis or her parents sought a diagnosis because I would just a guess. This is just a guess. This is just a professional guess. I don't know anything about her history. So this is just my educated guess is that maybe she was struggling a bit at some point just due to increased demands or social stuff, maybe social anxiety, who knows.
Hey folks, my name's Aidan Boyer. I'm a professional touring musician. I was diagnosed at age 2 where I received years upon years of early intervention intensive therapy growing up.
Okay. So Aidan, is that what they said? Sorry. Me remember names. Aidan. Okay, Aidan. First off, Aidan's wavy hair slays. So he was also diagnosed at age of 2, which is interesting because that is another thing about misdiagnoses. Boys tend to get diagnosed way more frequently than girls. And it's sort of changing, but the research still leans more toward boys being diagnosed more. And there's a lot of different thoughts on it. Part of it is probably how girls are socialized and what the social expectations are. And girls just learn different ways of like trying to fit in and trying to mask and things like that. And the boys struggle more. Who knows? There can be so many different reasons though. But my guess is he was diagnosed. If he was diagnosed at the age of 2, he was also probably an apparent neurodivergent when he was little. He was probably more apparent. A lot of times late diagnosed people were more non-apparent, or it was just due to intersectionality, doctors not believing a girl could have or could be autistic instead of have autism. I use identity first language. But yeah, and also like lack of access to doctors that really even gave the time of day to people of color and things like that. So yeah, my guess is he was also a parent at some point, and through all the therapy and stuff, he's probably been given the option to mask at some point along his childhood development journey. He probably figured out how to start masking or was at least taught explicitly how to start masking. And so yeah, that's probably
a professional touring musician. I was diagnosed at age 2 where I received years upon years of early intervention intensive therapy growing up.
Who do you guys think is going to be the best, the middle, and the least best?
And the least best. The space that I'm in is like very heavily autistic. Like I'm an autism advocate for life, but I also am a teacher of the arts. And in the arts, there's so many autistic people. I think I'm either going to be really good or I'm going to guess everyone's autistic and be completely wrong.
I would expect not to do super well. Like, if I get at least 3 people, and I'm like, okay, at least I was somewhere, but you know.
I'd say I'm somewhere in the middle. So if we had to do a ranking, I'd put you at the top, if you're okay with it. What do you think?
I can see that.
Honestly, I think the guys are slaying this because they were both diagnosed so much earlier on. And were probably more apparent as little kids and were given tons of therapy, which means they had tons of feedback. They've probably internalized and are really hyper aware of how much they don't understand about other people. That was probably highlighted a lot through all their therapies. And as a slightly later diagnosed, someone diagnosed as a teenager, Paige probably like actually does have a slightly better handle on, I would guess, first off, masking when she needs to. And also just kind of going under the radar. And so like integrating in with neurotypicals and stuff and meeting certain expectations. She's probably a little more practiced. And if she didn't receive as much intensive therapy growing up, she probably didn't internalize a lot of messages around like what she's done wrong, how much she doesn't get. So she actually might have a little less anxiety, which actually might make her guesses maybe better. I don't know. It's hard to say. It could be, but they actually might not be totally wrong, but it would be interesting to see how that goes, because the guys who received all the therapy, they probably have the checklist in their head, like the therapeutic checklist of like eye contact and fidgeting and stimming, and they probably have that in their head, perhaps more so than she does, possibly. So they actually might be better than she is. So we'll see. Interesting.
I feel like if I'm at the top, then I'm gonna go. Then I'm
Fine,
gonna suck.
I'll just be
gonna
at the
suck
top.
the most.
I'll be at the top.
Okay, so she just has an anxiety around failing, basically. Being told she'll be the best, and she's like, oh, then I'm not going to be the best, and it's going to be embarrassing. Yeah, which, same girl, same. I can relate to that for sure. Yeah.
It's okay.
I wanted to ask what kind of questions we're gonna ask, or like what we
Yeah.
plan on doing.
Uh-huh.
With a lot of common autism keys, a lot of people would see it, which is unfortunately what a lot of people relies on the most.
I could see like the one person like
I love that when they edited this, they left in his word finding moment there. Because that is a very neurodivergent thing, autistic thing, ADHDers do it as well. That sort of word finding, not quite getting there, but he got there, he got it. And I love that they didn't edit it out. I love that they did that. So good job, Jubilee. I love that they kept that in.
that just starts like swaying.
Oh, I
And I'd be
see.
like,
I see.
Oh, it's
Gotcha, bitch.
or something that's called stimming.
Yeah, and in this situation, it's going to be a lot of people who are purposely trying to make us not see it.
Which is so interesting. She's thinking the autistics are going to be masking, and then the neurotypicals are going to be faking. So then they might throw a wrench in it, which is so interesting. I mean, it makes sense that you would consider that if with just from my perspective as a professional and like all this, it makes sense she would think that because like she's been late diagnosed, like she sort of had to figure out things a lot on her own probably. And so she probably has a lot more anxiety around like, these are the situations where I can't tell, right? Like the anxiety of like, okay, if the autistics are really good at masking, I might not be able to tell. And if the neurotypicals are really good at sort of faking it, then I also might not be able to tell. So that is kind of an interesting reaction, I think, from her.
Never even thought of that all. So can I please go in the middle?
Okay, yeah, sure.
And also totally fair. I love that he's like, okay, if you're actually thinking that deeply about this, can I please be in the middle? Because I didn't even think about the fact that people might hide or fake it, or like he's not even considering it, which honestly, I don't think I would have considered it either in that setting, to be honest. I don't think I would have. I would have just seen it as like, everybody here is going to be genuine. This is a safe space. It's where we're doing our thing. They all know the assignment. But there is a chance that producers and stuff wanted people to do things differently. So we'll see. I need to stop pausing. This is going to take forever if I keep pausing. Oh my God. But I'm excited. This is actually kind of fun. First off, I love these three. They're much younger than me, but I already I feel all you.
I don't know. I'm just going to go with my gut, and I'm going to go with my own experience.
Standing.
Yeah.
Feeling great. A little worn out, but I'm okay.
I love that I'm worn out, but I'm okay. He's probably been socializing so much and he's in a new environment. And I would so feel that way too. It's like you're finally getting to the task you came here to do, but it probably took hours to get to this task. And his brain is probably like he's already just like, because I like, look how white the set is. I don't know what the set looks like in real life. This could just be like green screen or whatever. And they like put in the white, but like, yeah, the studios have bright lights and there's probably a ton of people behind the camera to talk to and people giving instructions and multi-step instructions. And oh my God, this would be the kind of day that I know I would need a couple days to like recover from. I would be so burnt out from this day. Like, it would be so tiring for me, sensory wise, socialization wise, following direction wise, trying to attend to all the tasks wise. Like, yes, it would be tiring. So I feel you. That makes sense that you're tired. Also, the autistic realness of pushing through your exhaustion. Yes, I feel that too. Mm-hmm.
Okay, initiating conversations with 20 people. Wow.
All right, we're gonna.
That's me too. Oh my God. I love it. Like, he's in charge. Like, he has to initiate it. He's in charge of initiating all that conversation. Oh my God, that is a lot. Also, another thing that would freak me out is, do I have to remember everybody's name? Because I'm not going to remember 20 people's name. There is no way I would remember that. Because me and names, we don't go together. I don't know.
And bring up the line.
Do I get to watch them?
Ooh, look at her sleigh.
Here we go.
Hello. Look at those boots.
Goodness gracious, my anxiety kicking in.
Love it. Yeah. Okay.
The thing I need the autistics to know, all the other AuDHDers, neurodivergents, autistics out there, we are feeling it with you. We are feeling it. I'm feeling anxious. Okay.
I don't know why this is so nerve-wracking.
It's so cute.
Thank you.
I love it. It's so true.
Okay, can we all just like maybe shake it out
Yeah.
really quick?
I love it. Shake it out. Exactly. Like, that's a body regulation. You're going to get in there. You're going to groove it. You're going to stim a little, getting all that energy out. You don't have to be still. Like, that is a good answer. Like, you don't have to, if shaking it out doesn't work for you, that's fine. But I love that somebody was like, let's take a little moment and do some body, like, energy management for our, because this is a very contrived setting, obviously. Like nobody actually really has this in real life per se. So it makes sense that they're like, everybody relax it. Whoever that staff member was or whatever, yes. I love it. I love that you recommended that. That was good. And I love that they kept it in too, because that they could have edited that out. I love that.
Hello.
I'm Rebecca. Hi, Rebecca. I know you. Actually, we've never met in real life, so
No.
it's nice to meet
Nice
you
to
in real
meet you
life.
in
When I
real
saw you, I
life.
was like, no way.
Yeah.
And you look great.
Thank you.
And this
Thank
looks
you.
the
So I'm going to guess she's a social media influencer, and I don't know her because I'm not on social media that much because I'm an old. As far as the internet is concerned, I'm an old. I know people actually older than me are going to be like, you're not that old. I get it. I know. But like, according to these folks of this age group, like, she's 24. I'm an old to her. You know what I mean?
boots are really cool.
Thank you. Dolls kill.
What was a challenge that you had to overcome, or is still an ongoing challenge that you're still going through?
So that leather bustier, like, good fit. That's not easy to find. Hello. Okay.
Overcome, or is still an ongoing challenge that you're still going through?
Friends, making them, keeping them, finding the bodies, all that stuff.
I feel that so hard. The keeping friends and keeping up with friends too, especially as you get older. I think it's gotten a little easier as I get older because people, like most of my friends, we don't live in the same area anyway. So I have a lot of friends. The best friends I've had are the ones where like I cannot talk to them for months and we're still friends. Like, I know they're still my people, even if I'm not in direct contact with them all the time. And I think it gets easier as you get older because older people just in general, even neurotypicals, they get distracted and they just kind of like disappear for a while and then they check back in with you. So like, I think that becomes a more normalized thing as you get older, at least nowadays. So hopefully that gives you a little bit of hope or help. But I love that he's opened up with that. Austin, right? Yes. I told you names, me. I should write down their names. Austin, Paige, and Aiden, right? The three people doing the radar part, the picking, the interviewing. I love that he opened up with that question. It's interesting because from a trained perspective as a speech language pathologist in conversation, that seems like a fairly intimate question. Like it's an emotionally vulnerable question to ask someone right off. So a neurotypical or even another neurotypical therapist might be like, oh, that's not a good opening question. That's horrible. Like you got to start small talk is sort of how they would probably jam with that. Like that's kind of invasive and kind of personal. But to a neurodivergent, like honestly, I would rather have that question than small talk. I would rather have someone just go straight for like, life experience, emotionally vulnerable, like, let's connect, let's get into it, you know? And so, like, I feel like that is a good example of, like, an autistic somewhat unmasking, in the sense of, like, I want to hear about your struggles as an autistic, or even as a neurotypical. Like, I still want to know, like, and I think maybe he's searching for common experiences, which could be how he's trying to determine, but if he doesn't know of her on social media. But yeah, I just wanted to point that out as, like, I think that's a potential, what we could, or what I would like to call, a cultural difference between, like, an autistic communication style versus a neurotypical one right there.
That's pretty fair.
Rebecca, I've seen you before.
Yeah.
You're an active players. You've done autism-related content. But just for the sake of continuity, I'm going to ask you a question.
Okay.
If you could eat one food for the rest of your life, what would it be?
Mac and cheese.
Okay.
I respect mac and cheese. Also, autistic culture right there. Same day food is the food you can eat over and over again. For me, it would probably be peanut butter and jelly sandwiches with crunchy peanut butter. I know not everybody loves that, but listen, crunchy peanut butter, because it keeps it from sticking to the roof of my mouth. The crunchy helps, the texture helps, and equal amounts of strawberry jam. Like, you got to have a lot of jam. Like, the jam should be oozing out, because you got to have moisture to split up all of that, peanut butter. Oh, this is blinking at me. I don't know why it's blinking. I don't know what's going on. You know, you got to have that. So, so that would probably be my same day food. Although lately it's been smoothies. I've been making a certain type of smoothie that I've just been making over and over again. I have like 2 to 3 smoothies for dinner, like, a week at this point. 2 different flavors that I rotate, and then they're the same smoothies over and over again. So, but also mac and cheese. Oh my God, when I was little too, half my plate would be mac and cheese. Like, that was one of my foods. Heck yeah.
I have noticed that mac and cheese does tend to affiliate with the picky eating that tends to happen with people on the spectrum.
It's just also the most superior food on the planet. So.
Yeah. So
I agree. Cheesy, creamy. You got the noodles. Yes. Superior food. Also, if you're making mac and cheese, like, from a box, if it's not like homemade mac, it's a much more, you know what it's going to taste like. Like, you know what to expect of this mac and cheese. You know what I mean? When it's homemade and you're at other people's homes and stuff, it might be a little different. But same day foods often are foods that, like, we know we can get pretty much the same experience from those foods. And so there's little anxiety, there's a comfort around it. So it's like an enjoyable combination of sensory experience with the food, and mouthfeel is a big one for me too. But also, like, it's that comfort of that, but also that routine of sameness of, like, I don't have to be anxious around this food. I don't have to have, like, unexpected chicken gristle. Oh my God, that's one of my worst. I just got like the creepy crawlies all over my skin thinking of gristle. Oh, I hate that when you just end up running into it and you didn't expect it, you know? Ooh. So that's what same day foods are. They're foods that we know will taste good. They fit in with our sensory needs, and we can get them consistent. Like, they have a consistency to them. Like, when we are the one who makes them, or when we know we go to that one place for this one dish, like, yeah, we know what we're getting, you know?
I was going to say I hypothesize, but because I've seen you before, I know you're on the spectrum.
Yeah, fair.
I do know the answer.
Mhm.
We are and have been online for a while, so I am gonna send you that way. Thank you so much.
I think you are on the spectrum.
I love that he doesn't know her, but he's like, yeah, no, probably. The keeping friends, probably, yeah, for sure. I would put her there too. Yeah.
Oh, nice to meet you,
To meet you, I'm Darius.
Darius.
What is your favorite movie and why?
That's a good question.
Wait, sorry. What did you
Is your favorite movie and why?
move and
That's a good question.
and why? Okay.
Do the Right Thing, by Spike Lee.
Favorite
Do the right
movie.
thing.
I thought he said favorite move, and I was like, he did do a dance move. He did like the Michael Jackson at the end, and I was like, maybe he's talking about that when they did the wiggles and he did the, you know. But he said movie. Okay, what's your favorite movie and why? The and why. Okay, listen. First off, this is making me love Austin even more. The why is a big, I think, part of neurodivergence. We want to know why. Why do people love what they love? Like, we love expressing the feeling we have around something we love. And I think that's where info dumping comes in. That's where hyperfixations come in. Like, oh my God, we love that. So it's not just what's your favorite movie, it's and why, right? Because you might like the exact same movie and you might like the same things about it, but you also might like different things about it. And like autistics definitely want to go deeper into that why than honestly, even like ADHDers from what I've seen, although I'm sure some adult ADHDers also will relate to that. But that why is a big part of it. And that's one of the things I say when it comes to like SLPs and other people who work with autistics. Teaching the why around rules is so important. Like if you just tell me to do a thing and your reasoning is because I said so, I'm going to be like, well, that's going to go into the ignore pile. Like, no. But if somebody can explain the why, like if you're a little kid and they're like, why can't I climb on top of the monkey bars and stand and balance on that? The why would be like, we don't want you to fall and break your leg. Like you might get really, really hurt. And it makes us worry about that. And then you're more likely to actually follow it because it's like, oh, I didn't think about that. Like as a little kid, you're like, I did not think about breaking my leg. Don't want to do that. So you're more likely to follow it, right? So that why, so critical. I love that.
By Spike Lee, just a social commentary of a time, and I feel like it's still relevant, especially with the racial dynamic and everything.
I think, yeah.
Do you have a favorite color?
Blue.
Okay.
And yellow.
And yellow.
Yeah.
Why?
I went to UCLA, so like, and
Not because you went to UCLA, but because your favorite color is associated with a thing.
You, my friend, are on the spectrum.
yes,
We didn't even see his questions with him, I guess. I don't even know, but okay. The why, notice, see? The why follow-up. Yes, Paige, that is neurodivergent culture in my opinion. That is autistic culture right there. Why? We want to know why. I want to know why about my autistic clients. And pro tip to parents and therapists out there who want to be neurodivergent affirming, especially if you're trying to get like communication and build relationship with somebody, just being able to describe things is so important, I think, to autistics, because I'm going to say we, because I know this is like, I'm not really formally diagnosed, but yes, if I say we, it's like, I want people to be curious about me, but it's very rare for people to be curious about what I love and why I love those things. Like when you ask the why, you're asking for an info dump, and it makes us so excited. And info dumping is totally a way we bond. A lot of adult autistics out there are talking about that, but I think it's 100% true. Like if I can't info dump with somebody and get a positive response for that info dumping, I don't feel like I'm not going to fully trust that person. I'm not going to be like close friends with them or anything. I don't think that person's going to be a friend to me long-term, like I can be polite to them, but we're not going to be close, because if I get more of like a crazy from them, then I'm like, okay, well, no, I can't share myself with you then, like we're not going to be that close. So that why is such a critical part. And especially for non-speaking autistics who use AAC devices, so often we want to teach requests, which is important. Request and protest, being able to say, no, I don't like that. No, please don't move me. Things like that. Yes, that's important. Or saying, I need a quiet break. I need something for regulation. That's incredibly important for self-advocacy, but also being able to describe, like, why do you like the glitter bottle so much? Why do you like rocking? What does your body feel like when you rock? Does it feel free? Does it feel light? Does it feel airy? Right? Like, we love it. I knew this one non-speaking autistic who in high school that I worked at who had a high-tech device. He was really good at it, but he would color like these kind of almost abstract, like color blocked, like he would take a piece of paper and he would just color these color blocks, and they were gorgeous. I thought it was beautiful, like totally could be abstract art in a museum somewhere for sure if you frame those things. And I remember looking at him and being like, what do you feel like when you're doing this? Like, is this how your brain sees the world? Do you hear something with the colors? Do they have a taste? Like, I'm thinking synesthesia. Like, I wanted to know why he did that sort of coloring all the time. Like, I could tell he loved it. I wanted to know why. Why does he love doing it? And he looked at me like he was a little confused and a little shocked that like no one had ever asked him that. And I think that's the neurodivergent difference. I'm curious about people's inner working, you know? And I want them to be curious about me too, but, you know. Anyway.
Let's see.
Sorry.
No, you're chill.
He's looking.
Your eye contact is very strong. You're very strong at eye contact, just like I am.
Do you or have you played any musical instruments?
I do play guitar, so I also play a little bit of piano, and I'm also a music producer.
Okay, finally, someone I'm not totally sure about. I hypothesize that you may be on the spectrum.
Do you speak Spanish?
He might be on the spectrum. I'm not sure. I'm actually not 100% sure either.
Yes, I do.
Nice. Yo aprendo español.
Qué bueno.
Yes.
I'm gonna be bad at this because I'm gonna think everyone's autistic. I'm gonna send you to the right as well.
Which is possible, yeah, because like neurotypical eye contact can feel very intense to a neurodivergent, but then a neurodivergent who's used to masking, especially if she was slightly later diagnosed, like more as a teenager, she probably is used to having to like force herself the eye contact. So she's probably thinking intense eye contact means like forced, which could be the case. I'm not sure if he's autistic or if he is neurodivergent at all. Honestly, I'm not quite sure. He seems to be, I get the vibe that he's like kind of a nice guy, and he probably gets along with different types of people. So he could be neurotypical and just be one of those kind of compassionate neurotypicals who like doesn't care who he's hanging around. One of my tells is asking about like their interests. Like if he's a musician and he loves it, I would have wanted to ask like, what's your favorite instrument and why? Or who's your favorite musician and why? Like I want to know the why because I want to hear signs of info dumping. And then that's kind of the thing that really neurotypicals will info dump for a short period of time and in a more linear way. They'll like talk about it in sort of a more making sense, like organized way. And neurodivergents, especially at ADHDers, will funnel around, and autistics will just kind of like it just all comes out, all the thoughts.
Just can keep on going for a long time, you know.
I'm gonna send you to the right as well. Sorry, no, we can talk. No, sorry. How are you? Who are you?
I'm Miller.
It's a very good point. I like it partly because of the look. So she was judging her on her way she's dressing. She's got the pink hair. She's got piercings. She's looking kind of punk. But she also has this like kind of stuffed animal, like ear backpack type thing and stuff like that. So that checks out. A lot of us like to be around our special interest, and we like to have things about that. And, you know, especially if she lives in a city or something, this is one way to advertise who you are, right? So
Yes.
Do you enjoy traveling?
Yes, I do.
Where do you like to go?
I like nature, you know,
Yeah.
because I'm in the city now, so I like to go out and be in nature, go on hikes and
Cool.
all that,
I
yeah.
also like nature.
What would you identify your style if you have one?
Yeah, I don't know. It's just kind of a chaos of goth, emo, alternative, kawaii. Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, it's
kawaii as in cute, like Japanese cute, like anime type stuff.
All right.
skirt
Definitely my
definitely
own
gives
thing.
like new metal, considering that you have.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, the skirt
Definitely my
definitely
own
gives
thing.
like new metal, considering that you have a corn tattoo,
Yeah.
which I also like. I think
Just saw it.
not. And it's ironic because there's so many people on Twitter that could be in the subculture scenes.
As soon as I saw you, I was like, yeah, because
And it's very possible because she might not be autistic. She also might be neurodivergent though, or she might be queer. Like that's the thing about intersectionality with these groups. Like it is sometimes hard to tell. Obviously she's alternative. She's in these more alternative groups, but that doesn't mean she's neurodivergent. There is a big overlap and there's a big Venn diagram, but it's not a one-to-one. So good call, Austin. I like your analysis there.
neurotypical people don't dress as cool.
Okay, well,
Or should I?
I like how Paige is just like, you look too cool to be neurotypical. And she might not be neurotypical, but this is if you're autistic, right? And autistic is one type of neurodivergent. It's not all neurodivergence. So, yeah, hard to say.
Obviously, this is a game. I don't know. I can't tell. But I'm going to hypothesize that you are not on the spectrum.
Hello,
Hi, I'm Chai.
Chai.
Like Chai tea, yeah.
Chai, like Chai tea. Is that how you introduce yourself?
Yeah. Most of the time, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who will be your idol and
I don't know if that's how he introduces himself all the time, but it probably is how he introduces himself to white people. Because Yeah, he probably is anticipating the joke that's coming or the like phrase that's coming. He's probably heard that so often, especially from white people in America. Chai, like the tea. He's just anticipating it, honestly, which, yeah, so props to him. But yeah, okay.
I guess myself in 10 years. That's a person I really want to look up to.
Oh, hold on.
I guess, yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Who will be your idol and why?
I guess myself in 10 years. That's a person I really want to look up to and really make happy.
I say you are.
Okay, thank you.
I don't know. I don't know if he's neurotypical neurodivergent so far out of what we've been shown in terms of his anticipating the T remark with his name. Also, like, I don't know, the other answer about himself in 10 years kind of, it feels a little like a job interview answer, you know? Like if somebody on a job asks you, that's an appropriate answer to give. Because it shows that you're trying to better yourself and stuff. So it could be autistic in the sense of like, it's a scripted answer that like sounds good. And so he's giving it as more of a script.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Subject in school? Which grade?
Well, now it's on me. Well, that's
I guess it changed.
Okay, that's an autistic answer. I'm gonna send you to
well,
that.
I mean, you don't.
But
Okay.
also answer no.
Hold on.
What's your favorite subject in school?
Subject in school? Which grade?
Well, now it's on me. Well, that's
I guess it changed.
Okay, that's an autistic answer. I'm gonna send you to
well,
that.
I mean, you don't.
But
Okay.
also answer no. I want you to answer.
Math and sciences.
Nice.
Okay,
Perfect.
I'm gonna go this way.
Wonderful.
Yep.
Oh my goodness.
Okay,
Dude, why do I keep seeing people I've seen before?
You're doing great, by the way. I just want to tell you that.
Oh, thanks, man. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, you just follow procedure and
I will follow my procedure. I mean, one might.
Now I'm getting more of the autistic vibe. My guess is Austin's questions and stuff were a little longer than what they showed us. And he's seen him, meaning he's probably on social media and he's probably an advocate and stuff. So that makes sense too. And I'm not saying, total side note, I'm not saying answering that you want to admire yourself in 10 years isn't a good answer. It is a very good answer. But I guess as a 45-year-old, it's definitely giving me like job interview vibes, you know, a little bit. So... But it is a good answer. It's important to like want to always better yourself and improve yourself and stick to your own character and your own values. So it's a good answer. It is. Just have to share that. But yes, he is giving a little more of the autistic vibes the more he unmasks, quite frankly. The more they ask him things that require him to drop the mask a bit, he's starting to show a little more autistic behaviors, a little more of the like confusion over like a general question. A lot of times neurotypicals will just kind of assume what you mean, like your favorite subject idea, like the idea of like which grade. You want more specifics, you want more details. Even if it did change, a lot of times neurotypicals will just go with the first whatever. And if I'm in a masking state, I'll do that. I'll just go with the first whatever. And if I'm not, I might ask for a follow-up question for details. So
Say that this is limiting to me, but
Don't worry about
I need to have my script.
Don't worry about it. You're doing great. You're doing
Thanks,
great.
man. Thank you. I appreciate you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Fellow Spectrum homie.
I love it.
Hello.
Yep.
Hi,
How are you?
doing good. My name is Brayton.
What is your favorite color and why?
Green, because of Kermit the Frog.
Have you ever taken something apart just to see how it works and put it back together?
I have not, because I'm not really a big mechanical person, although I am curious to how a toaster will actually operate, because we can actually use parts of a toaster to actually build some futuristic tools that we can better use to benefit our planet.
Awesome.
Sounds pretty autistic at this moment in time. Yes.
I knew you were gonna do that.
Who is your favorite music artist and band?
I do like some Beethoven, I do
Nice.
like some Sinatra, as far as hip-hop, Bow Wow, jazz, John Coltrane.
Nice. Well, I love the specifics because normally the folks I know who actively go out of their way to listen to most music say, "Oh, I just listen to everything." So I really appreciate the specifics, man.
as someone who is a classically trained singer in my former pre-SLP life, being an opera singer and stuff, I appreciate that too. Because listen, I always hear people are like, I listen to anything, but except they don't know any classical or anything like that. I love that he like whipped out some classical Beethoven, all that. He's got the older music styles. Like, heck yes, exactly.
hypothesize that
Which I'm going to guess autistic also, because he's much more specific about it. He's been very specific about all his answers, and he's been giving more information than prompted, which is a very kind of info dumpy, you know, disinhibited, fluid thought idea.
You may be on the spectrum.
And for people who are neurotypical, if you're a speech pathologist or a parent out there, or just a neurotypical who wants to know more about neurodivergent interactions, note how much these autistics relax when they feel like they're in front of another autistic. They laugh, they make some jokes, they let the person info dump. They might talk over them, but they'll still go back and let them finish, like how Paige did with Chai. She like went back, oh, no, come back, but finish. She's like, I already know the answer, but you finish what you're saying. Such a neurodivergent thing to do, such like an ADHD, autistic-y type deal there for sure. Okay, so I think what I'm going to try to do today is get through at least this first like kind of part of this whole thing. My dog is hitting at the door, my high maintenance husky. So let me stop this here. I only got 10 minutes in, my God. I only got 10 minutes in, but maybe I will come back and do a little bit more of this either tomorrow or whatever. I'm going to try to edit it and post it and like, we'll just see how it goes. If people seem to like this, let me know and I can do more of these type of videos, I guess. I don't know how many that are out there like this, but yeah. Short wait for mama? Is that okay? Yeah, okay. All right. Short wait, baby. Short wait. We do in just a second. Yeah.